Hello friends, welcome to Club Craft Area. In this video, we are going to see how to crochet this beautiful pistachio triangular shawl. For this, we need yarn, crochet hook and a cutter. Start with a slip knot. Do chain 5. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Yarn over, pull through the loop. This is what we tell it as chain. We have to do 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we have to do a slip stitch in the last stitch. So insert the hook, pull through the loop and pull through this loop. This is slip stitch. So you'll have a circle. Do chain 1. Yeah, we are going to do 4 puff stitch inside this circle. How to do a puff stitch? Yarn over, insert the hook in the circle, pull through the desired length. You have to do 4 times. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull through the desired length. 2. Yarn over, insert the hook and pull through. 3. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull through. 4. And yarn over, pull through all these loops and do a chain. This is one puff stitch. Next you have to do chain 1. You are going to do next puff stitch. Yarn over, insert into the loop, pull through the desired length. Yarn over, insert in the loop, pull through the desired length. Yarn over, insert into the loop, pull through the desired length. Yarn over, insert into the loop, pull through the desired length. Then yarn over, pull through all the loops. Chain 1. This is the second puff stitch. Likewise, you have to do 2 more puff stitch inside this circle. Chain 1. After doing 4 puff stitch, it looks like this. Next, turn the work. You have to do a slip stitch in this gap. Then you have to do 2 puff stitch. So yarn over, insert into the gap, pull through and to the desired length. 4 times you have to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all the loops. Chain 1. Again you have to do a chain 1. Then you have to do a puff stitch in the same loop. Yarn over, insert into the same gap, pull through. 2, 3, 4 and pull through all the loops. It looks like this. So we have completed this one and this part. Next we are going to do a chain 1 and do a puff stitch in this gap. You're going to do here in this gap. We are going to do a puff stitch. 3, 4. For next stitch, you have to do yarn over, pull through this loop, extend it to a certain height, catch hold of the yarn here, yarn over, pull through this loop. Again you have to insert in this loop and pull through the same loop. You'll have 2 loops. Do a single crochet. So it looks like this. Do a single crochet in this gap. We will skip this gap and do a single crochet in this last gap. You have to do 2 puff stitch here. Once if you have done a single crochet, we don't want to put a chain. So we'll do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, pull through, chain 1, then one more chain, again one puff stitch, 1, 4. So it looks like this. So we have completed this 4, this 2, this chain and this part. This is the pattern we are going to continue for this full triangular shawl. So after doing this, chain 1, turn your work. You are going to do a slip stitch in this gap and 2 puff stitch, how we have done before. Same way you are going to do a 2 puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, again 1 puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, again 1 puff stitch in this gap, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for next chain 1, you'll have to extend it to a certain height, yarn over, pull through the loop, insert the hook in this loop, back side of the inserted loop, pull through, you'll have 2 loops, do a single crochet. You have to insert this in this gap and do a single crochet. Do a puff stitch here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again you have to do the same stitch here. So just chain 1, extend it to a height, catch hold of the yarn here, yarn over, pull through, insert the hook in this back side of this loop, pull through the same loop. You have 2 loops, pull through all the 2 loops. Get this. Then you have to insert it in this gap and do a single crochet. So first one we did 1 time, next 2 times, next time you will be having 3, next time you will be having 4. Likewise you will get increased. This is the same pattern which you have to follow for the full shawl. You will do a puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Chain 1, another 1 puff stitch. Okay, so for next row, turn your work. You have to do a slip stitch in this gap and again you are going to do a 2 puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through, chain 1, do another puff stitch in the same space, chain 1, do a puff stitch in this space, chain 1. For next stitch, do a chain 1, extend it to a certain height, catch hold of the yarn, yarn over, pull through the loop, insert the hook at the back side of this, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops over, pull through all these 2 loops. You have to join this one in here, do a single crochet and do a puff stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have to do the same stitch again, 1 puff stitch and this stitch. So chain 1, insert it to a height, yarn over, pull through this loop, insert the hook at the back side, yarn over, pull through, have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all the 2 loops. Next you have to insert this here and do a single crochet. So after this again you have to do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So after a puff stitch again you are going to do the chain 1, extend it to a height, yarn over, pull through, insert here, yarn over, pull up 2 loops, insert the 2 loops. Again you have to insert it in this gap. So we have done 3 times. 1, 2, 3. The sides will be doing 2 puff stitch, and inside will be doing 1 puff stitch and this stitch. 1 puff stitch, this. So we'll be joining here like this. So we have joined in this gap. We are going to do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull through all the loop, chain 1. Again 1 chain, yarn over, do another puff stitch. Chain 1. For the next row, turn your work, insert the hook in this gap, do a slip stitch and do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all these loops, chain 1, do another 1 chain, yarn over, insert the loop, pull through and do a puff stitch. Pull through all the loops, chain 1, another chain 1, you have to do a puff stitch in this gap. Pull through all these loops. Next you have to do chain 1, pull through the required length, yarn over, pull through this loop, insert at the back, yarn over, pull through, you have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all the 2 loops. Then join this in this gap. Do a single crochet. Do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull through all the loops, chain 1. Do chain 1, extend it to a loop, join it in this loop, single crochet, then a puff stitch. You will do a single crochet in this gap, do a puff stitch, again chain 1, do another puff stitch. Pull through this. It looks like this. So I'll do once more. For the next row, turn your work, insert in this gap, do a slip stitch and do a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pull through all the loops, chain 1, do chain 1 and do one more puff stitch in the same gap. Again one chain 1 to do a puff stitch in the top of this second one, so in this gap. So next stitch, chain 1, pull it to a desired length, catch hold of the yarn here, yarn over, pull through this loop, insert the hook, this loop, pull through, 2 loops and pull through all these 2 loops. You have to insert this, join this here, do a single crochet, do a puff stitch, chain 1, this is how it looks. This is the pattern which we need to follow for this entire shawl. So to continue for the next round, you have to turn the work, do a slip stitch and do a puff stitch, do 2 chain and do a puff stitch. Then you have to do a 2 chain and do another puff stitch and do again this stitch, and you have to join it here. Likewise here, after joining you have to do a puff stitch and this stitch again and join it here. Again you will do 1 puff stitch and this stitch and join it here. Likewise you will continue the shawl to the required length we want. This is the shawl, triangular shawl, which I have done. Thank you friends.